Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us here today for our AutomateIT webinar as part of our tech webinar series. We've got over 50 attendees today, which is great to see friends from all over the globe. So good morning or good evening or good afternoon, depending where in the world you are situated. Today we're going to tell you how to automate your graphics workflows to streamline your operations, increase throughput, and integrate your graphics workflows into the other systems that you might have, all while giving your creatives a hassle-free, delightful user experience. Just as a bit of housekeeping, please do feel free to ask questions as we go through. This is an interactive webinar, so please reach out using the QA button at the bottom of the screen, which will allow you to type questions. My colleagues, Francois, Frederic, and Julien are also present on the call and will be answering the questions live. So please do feel free to ask any questions. We'd be happy to answer them. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to introduce our company. For those of you that don't know us, obviously we've got many friends on this call, existing customers and some new faces as well, which is fantastic. So we are Embrace, and we produce software that automates systems and connects people. And what exactly do we mean by that? Well, all of our products have started life as human processes. So lots of automation companies come from connecting back-end APIs together. All of our products and projects have started life with a simple kernel of a human process. And then all our products are designed to automate around that process. So in this particular scenario, we're looking at automating graphics workflows around graphics creatives' jobs. And we took a lot of time to understand how modern technology can be applied to make a user's job easier and ultimately allow them to focus on creative tasks rather than the boring, repetitive manual tasks that go with it. As we all know, computers are better doing the same thing right again and again and again, and humans are better at being creative. So we want to let that leverage the strength of each of those. For those of you that haven't heard of us, we work with major brands all over the globe, working with broadcasters such as Orange, A&E Networks, sports broadcasters, people like Eurosport and Discovery, educational institutions, archive institutions, post-production facilities, service providers like Red Bee, which is obviously part of Ericsson, And all of these customers are automating huge workloads through our products. We like to work very closely with our customers and have a collaborative relationship, and many of them feed designs, guidance, and features into our product, and we really enjoy working with those to make our products better. Anyone who's used our products will know that they're very easy to integrate into a huge range of products. We provide frameworks to make integration with transcoders, QC systems, storage, MAMs very easy. But we're also proud to work with a few key strategic partners. Some of the big names like Adobe and Avid, we're automating and making easy interchange between the two systems of graphics and other media. Partners like Cantamo, the MAM vendor, and AWS as well. We have customers who have been running our solutions in AWS for over 5 years, delivering thousands of promos a week, all without a single support ticket. So we are really proud of that. Today, we will be talking about AutomateIT, our promo versioning platform, which is, as you might expect, all around automation. We do have some other products which we've focused on in other webinars, and recordings of these are available if you're interested. I'll just take you a quick second to tell you about those other products. So we also have ShareIt, which connects Adobe Photoshop and After Effects into leading asset management systems such as Avid Media Central and Cantamo Portal, allowing you to collaborate and allowing users to share media into their MAM systems. And we also have Pulse-it, our workflow orchestration system that enables users to manage, schedule, and automate complex workflows and connect together different systems. So I'm going to focus in now on AutomateIT. And first of all, before I look at the functionality, what are the problems that we try to solve when creating this product, and who are we out there to help? So there's a few key bottlenecks and problems that we find and see frequently when working with organizations and their creative graphics teams. So first of all, typically in any sort of professional environment, there are, for every creative task, there are 10 non-creative tasks to get that created content to where it needs to be. Creatives are great at making beautiful designs, inspiring visuals, but they're not good at moving stuff to the right location on the FTP server, putting it to the correct location in the MAM, transcoding the video to the right format. That's not what they want to do, and it's not what they're good at. So AutomateIT is all about allowing them to focus on the creativity and taking away the boring drudgery manual tasks and from them, and allowing them to get on with creating awesome graphics. It's also important when you're automating graphics workflows to comply with brands' graphical guidelines, and that's exactly what AutomateIT is there to do. AutomateIT integrates really nicely into the broadcast and digital distribution of promos. As we know, the Adobe suite is great for generating graphics and working in those sort of domains, but it's not traditionally well integrated into broadcast tools like playout servers, and scheduling systems, and other tools. And that often leads to creatives copying files around on hard disks and losing them and having inconsistencies between them. So AutomateIT seamlessly integrates your Adobe graphics solutions and products into the broadcast domain. And of course, not just broadcast, digital too. Maybe if you're needing to distribute content to social directly from your After Effects solutions, that can be accomplished too through AutomateIT. We don't just work with broadcasters, we work with educational institutions, all sorts, to apply these graphics workflows in different ways. And ultimately, here to help you accelerate digital transformation through automation. So allow you to produce more content of high quality more quickly to service more markets. Now, that's who we're trying to help and the problems that we solve. But what exactly is AutomateIT? Well, that's a good question. AutomateIT is an Adobe-based promo versioning platform to package and deliver promos automatically. It comprises of a few key elements that we'll look at in a moment. But essentially, we've got automation and we've got user interaction, and we bring those together really nicely, which you'll see in the demonstration shortly. AutomateIT is available as an on-premise deployment. So if you want to keep everything on-premise on your servers, that's fine. If you want to run it in the cloud, either a private cloud or a public cloud, that's fine too. As I say, we have customers who've been running our solutions in AWS for a number of years without incident. And we have broadcasters generating huge volumes of promos with our software. So a few key functionalities of the AutomateIT platform. So one is it is fully automated. So we have, if you don't want to use any user input and you don't want to use our forms, which we'll look at in a moment, that's fine. And we have a number of users who use AutomateIT as a black box, API driven behind the scenes. Users don't know it's there and it performs its task every day, and that's fine. So it can be integrated into solutions that you provide behind the scenes for other playout systems or scheduling systems, perhaps. It's completely horizontally scalable. So you can add any number of worker nodes that you would like to increase rendering throughput. These are headless rendering nodes and workflow executors. So as you grow, you can add more nodes to scale the size of your solution. As I've already mentioned, we ensure graphical chart compliance, so limit the scope for errors, and ensure that your branding guidelines are met every time a promo is generated. As I've said, third-party API integration is important. The Adobe suite is great, but it's often not well integrated into some more traditional broadcast elements. We provide tools and frameworks to quickly and easily allow you to integrate your Adobe workflows and promos and communicate and push those into other systems or pull data from other systems using our customizable workflow engine. And lastly, it's all driven from a web-based interface. So it's not another thing to install on your users' workstations. Anyone can access it from anywhere that it's available using a native HTML5 browser. AutomateIT is powered by forms, we would say. So what do we mean by that? Well, when you're generating promos, often you want to collect user input. You want them to choose perhaps the right piece of media, make a few select pieces of a few decisions about what they are generating, and then to some key text to go into the template. Using our drag and drop designer, you can generate forms without writing a single line of code to collect user input, assign tasks. As you can see here on the right, they can be styled to meet your corporate guideline and collect exactly the data that you want from your users as part of an automated workflow. So you'll see in a second when we do the demo how this works. We also say that AutomateIT is connected and automated. So I've mentioned, work with graphic organizations, media organizations, broadcasters, and other organizations all around the world. And although many of them have a common problem, graphics workflows are just not cookie cutter solutions. There is no one size fits all. And none of our customers use the exact same equipment. They don't. None of them have the exact same workflow procedures as you would expect. So our graphical workflow designer allows you to easily integrate AutomateIT into your existing processes, rather than having to break your existing processes to fit around AutomateIT. So using the workflow designer, you can drag and drop tasks, as we're doing here, to quickly and easily integrate your Adobe system into other systems, or perform logic around the rendering and delivery of your promos. So just before we jump into the demonstration, I just wanted to tell you about a few real world examples of customers that are using AutomateIT, and the kind of efficiencies and benefits they see from using the platform. So 3 customers that we're particularly proud to work with. So Eurosport, obviously part of Discovery, are generating about 900 promos a week through AutomateIT. In their scenario, they are running in AWS, and they're generating promos in about 8 or 9 different languages. They have 10 headless render nodes to do that, running in AWS, as I say. So they're generating in the order of 200,000 promos a year. They're also delivering across a huge global network, so not just despite the name, not just focused on Europe. So they're delivering into both Asia and the US. So one of the other really nice things that AutomateIT does is when they're generating their promos, it's also taking care of time zone translations for airtime and things like that. So again, reducing the scope for errors and allowing creatives to create awesome designs and not worry about what the time is in New York compared to the time in Frankfurt. We also work with RTL. There are a few RTLs around, but in this case, we're focused on the Netherlands, who are using AutomateIT to deliver about 400 promos a week, again across 5 premium channels, so they're high value channels. All of that's going through AutomateIT. And Red Bee, again, as many of you will know, is the service provider who are using this as part of a project to deliver promos all across Africa. In this case, they're using it in an API-driven manner. It's integrated with their TDL MAM, and it's serving all the review and approval of promos, as well as the generation remotely. So thank you for just listening there while I talk you through the foundations of the product and what we offer. I'm just going to give you a quick familiarization demo now and show you the product in action. Okay, so I'm logged into the system. I'm logged in as Bill, which is my operational user. AutomateIT has an extensive permissions model system where you can define administrators, editors, anyone you want with granular user controls. Here I'm logged in and I can see just the promo panels that I have access to. So these are my entry points to create a promo. I'm going to use my single promo template here to generate. Now, this is me acting as an operator. We'll look at some of the backend configuration in a second. So this represents a promo format that I can create. So here we have a form that is generated using the drag and drop promo designer that I showed you earlier. And again, this is completely custom. So this can be whatever you want. If you use different terminology, you want to use 3 pieces of media instead of 2 pieces, you want to display things differently, brand it differently, you can do that easily. If you want to collect input from a scheduling system, from a weather system, from a news feed, all of that can be done and hooked in to this form. Here for my first tab, I'm going to select the media for my promo. So you can see we've got 3 tabs here. I'm going to focus on the first one. Let's choose my clean promos. This is the video that's going to go under my promo. And we're going to make a Ghostbusters commercial here. And you can see as well, even without a proxy being created, I get a preview by dragging my cursor across that thumbnail. Also, we have the end board, the scene that's going to be shown at the end. So I'm going to go and choose that guy here. And again, we get that preview wherever, even if we're just using our file browser. Now, I've also got to make some editorial decisions. So let's go here. Again, this is completely custom designed. So I'm going to choose the kind of alpha effect over the top of my promo that I want. So here we're using the panel's ability to embed GIFs, but this could be any selection that you want. I'm going to give my show a title. And let's give it a rating. It's a 12. And lastly, I'm going to go to the versions tab. And again, this can be configured however you want. We're going to do a day version. So perhaps we've got Sunday. And I want to create another version for tonight. Let's give it a promo ID as well. Online webinar. Again, this could be automatically retrieved from another system or a scheduling system. Now that I've selected my media, if this was a big task, I could save this and go away and come back to it. But I've made my decisions. Now I want to preview what I'm going to do. Now, anyone who has worked with the Adobe Graphics Suite knows that it can take a long time to render a sequence to preview. So here we use a special technique, and as you can see, that was very quick. That's now ready to view. We use a special technique which generates a spot check of our promo, so I can preview it before I commit to the full render. I click Generate Preview, and in less than 10 seconds, that's generated a preview for me. This automatically places markers on the After Effects timeline and generates time-coded images for me to demonstrate the output of what my promo will look like. Okay, this is good. I'm pretty happy with that, but maybe I want to make one more editorial decision, and I'm going to say it's the best. Okay, now we're happy. I've previewed it, I've made my editorial decisions. Let's go and generate that and launch the automated processes to render it and deliver it to a location. And I can see here in my status view that that's now in progress. It's now moved from pending requests into processing. And I can see here all of my tasks as they're processing, and I know the state that they are in. Now, as I mentioned, this is an operational view, so my user permissions as Bill only allow me to see certain things. While that's rendering, let's go and have a look at a admin view to see what else you can control in the system. So this is my admin view. And what I'm doing here is looking at the workflow in our workflow designer that will be triggered by my render process. Okay. Once the thing has been rendered, then this is my delivery workflow. As you can see, there's a number of other options at the top that we don't have in our operator view. So for our operators, we can really keep the user interface simple and clean and only give them the things that they need to focus on. Here I can do things like manage my users, manage my integration into Active Directory or other external identity providers, look at the health of the system in terms of nodes, my remote processing nodes, can design workflows, schedule them, and configure other system properties. So all of this is configurable and granular. Here I'm in the workflow designer, so I'll drag and drop workflow designer. And this is the workflow that will be triggered, as I say, by the render process once it completes. So down the right-hand side, we have a number of tasks available out of the box. Just to tell you a bit about those. So, for example, we can read and write to and from other databases, register media into asset management systems such as Cantamo Portal, or have it interplay through our Share It engine. We can launch other sequences and other processes, run tasks with Adobe Media Encoder, download and upload media, for example, to and from FTP, Dropbox, or to social media, things like YouTube, Vimeo, other locations. It's got a full logic engine, so we can add iterators, decisions. Our workflow can branch and make decisions for us. And we also include tools to communicate. For example, send emails, send messages into systems like Slack. You can perform tasks like transcoding, moving systems, moving media to and from other systems, and execute tasks within any other system. So anything that's got a scriptable interface, an API interface, like a REST API or a SOAP API, can be quickly and easily included into the workflow engine. So we have customers that have, with only basic training, on the basic tools in the system, have done their own integration into systems like Telestream Vantage and Microsoft Teams, for example. So it's really quick and easy to expand the system and build on it. This particular workflow is going to do a few things, just to tell you quickly about it. It's going to check whether it's been approved. So you'll see that before it launches this workflow, and the system's actually going to pause and show me a preview of the rendered output and ask if I do indeed want to continue on and send that to delivery. It's going to send a message into the system so we know the status. It's going to ingest the file into our asset management system, which in this case is Cantamo Portal, but could be any asset management system. It's then going to clean up the rendered media because it's already been ingested into our MAM. In this case, we don't want to keep it anymore, and then send a message to Slack to let us know that that process has been complete. But just to stress, this is not hard-coded. You could make any process you want. You could send it to a scheduling system, upload it to an S3 bucket. Any combination of these tasks on the right-hand side can be triggered. That should have completed by now. So I'm going to go back to my Bill user and have a look now at the next task for me. Okay. Our processing request is completed, and now if I go back, I can see that I've now got a task to just check my promo. Again, another template, and here I am going to select that. And again, this is a custom form, so maybe if you use different terminology or you want to provide different options to your user to send to a supervisor, then they can absolutely do that. Here I've got a playable web proxy of our media, and just a simple option to select, to approve or reject it, and add a comment. But again, this could collect whatever data you want. The form could be as simple or as complex as you like. So I'm happy, and I now want to go and approve the delivery. Let's go and execute that. That's now away, processing. And what I can also do at any time is either, as I say, view processing requests, which my task is now finished, or I can go and view the entire request history for whatever I've got permission for. So let's say I want to, I think this one was called online webinar. If I go and search for that, here we go, we can see the task that I've completed. So I know that my delivery has completed, my validation and delivery, and the initial render is completed. So you have full visibility. Now, as you can see, here's my username, but there's, as I mentioned, an advanced user management and groups management system in there, which can be driven off things like Active Directory. So tasks can be dynamically assigned based on workflow logic to a user or a group of users. Lastly, let's go and view the output. My promo was called online webinar _sunday.mxf, which again was just part of the workflow. So this could be whatever you want. If I now go and look in Slack, we can see the output. And you can see here that I've now got a message triggered as part of that workflow just a few seconds ago that my promo has been delivered. Again, the content of this can be whatever you want. We've included a lot of data here for demonstration purposes, but this could be as simple or as advanced as you like, and indeed could provide actions as well. So, for example, you can provide action buttons within Slack to say approve, reject, do something here, and that will itself feed back into AutomateIT. What we'd like to do now is just open up to some further questions, questions that you may have. Please do write using the Q&A functionality, but I'll also summarize some of the ones that have already been answered for those for those of you that have asked them already. So Peter asked, how do you match the audio files for the right promo? Must the audio operator select the right folder or select the title to upload? So this is a good point. And this really is where the power of having a workflow engine and a flexible framework behind the platform really comes into its own. Of course, you could have users selecting the right audio manually if you wanted, or if you trusted them to do so. But because there's logic and processing within the workflow, Pulseit can do things like automatically match the audio based on the promo ID and present it to a user purely to review rather than having them selected. It could automatically call out to another database or MAM or traffic system that holds a record of the audio and integrate that in. So there are a number of options depending on how you want to use it, and there is no one size fits all. There's another question: can you group validation to approval on one version, and will it automatically approve the others today, now, etc.? Yes. So can you approve one and have every version approved? You can absolutely do that. In our scenario, we wanted to approve all of them manually, but you could approve one and automatically approve the other. Or indeed, you could have, rather, in our scenario, we had a review and approval session per version. Maybe if you're doing 10 versions or whatever, that might become cumbersome. You could view each promo in a single session if you wanted as well. So that's also another option. Or perhaps you want to assign your promo to different user groups. The German language one goes to the German speakers. The French language one goes to the French speakers for review. So there are pretty much unlimited options, all in depending how you want to configure. And Peter also asked, have you integrated R128 normalization and Intera Baton? Certainly it is possible, and we have support to do that. I don't know, maybe my colleagues will be able to help me. I don't know of specific customers that are doing this, but we have customers working with all the main QC systems out there. and doing both audio legalization and video normalization for broadcast as part of their delivery workflows, delivery graphics workflows. Okay, we'll just leave it for a minute or two longer before we haven't got any more questions. Again, if
Thank you, Bill. Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Julien.
Yeah, there's still a few people that are connected. I'm Julian, by the way. There's Frédéric as well, Francois, Caddy is there, I think, as well with us as panelists from the Embrace team today. If you have any other questions. We have some friends from the West Coast in the US. Maybe I can mention something because I believe you know our other platform, Pulsit, very well, the next generation workflow orchestration system. And AutomateIT shares the same workflow engine. So basically all the possibilities that you have to connect to any bespoke system or existing technology that is being used in broadcast, you can use those universal connectors, REST API, SOAP API, XML. So these integrations are part of the product already. We have customers who have done Microsoft Teams integrations on their own, Aspera Orchestrator, Aspera Fastpacks, Signient, Route 6 Content Agent, Telestream Vantage. Peter raised another question about a percentage value of how the efficiency raised through AutomateIT. Yes, we do. It's related to maybe measure the return on investment when you implement AutomateIT. And this is a difficult question to address usually for customers before they actually implement it, because the value add is at a much broader level than strictly the packaging with After Effects. So it's more than the edit suite and the operator that will do the versionings, but it's really about, for example, connecting directly to your traffic systems that holds all their editorial information in real time and dynamically. That saves tremendous time and limits the number of mistakes that are in the process, from copying data, exporting an Excel, re-entering data into the forms. If all of that can be automated, then you just need to check and you're sure that you limit the number of mistakes, and that's also improving your overall process. What people say usually is that it's about they reduce the cost, the overall cost or overhead about 50%, if not more, and they can produce a lot more than they could before with the same equipment and the same staff. So it's basically you can scale without raising your operational costs. Also, you can start off with broadcast, and then you can promote your programs both for broadcast and social networks, for example. So 16:9, 1:1, vertical, 9:16, etc. Very easily directly from AutomateIT.
So that's the end of the demonstration. Do hope you like what you have seen here today. If you'd like more information, would like to arrange a demonstration or to chat about your workflow requirements in a bit more detail, please do contact us via our website or via one of our social media channels, and we'd be delighted to speak to you.
Thank you, everyone joining, and I hope we'll speak very soon. Stay safe.
Thank you. Goodbye.